Good afternoon. Thank you for organizing the conference together with Asian Development Bank Institute. I apologize I cannot attend this conference. However, I would like to make my presentation through video. Sustainable growth in Asian regions are very important. So I would like to talk about today infrastructure and SME and startup businesses, and also equality of the society and education. Those are the key points I would like to make today. And please look at these slides. President Nakao of Asian Development Bank ADB often talks about 8 necessary conditions for economic growth. First one is infrastructure investment. Without good infrastructure, farmers cannot send their products to market, and people can commute much easily by good transportation systems. Second is security and political stability. Without security and stability, people cannot live very well. Third one is macroeconomic stability, monetary and fiscal policy. They have to go together with the economic policy. And fourth one is education and health. And especially I would like to talk about importance of education in my presentation. And number 5 is open trade and investment, which accelerate the good flow of services and products across the countries. And 6 is good governance. This is especially related to tax collections. Number 7 is inclusiveness in the society. In other words, everybody has to get the benefits of economic growth. And last one is clear vision for development. So those are the 8 conditions President Nakao of ADB often talks about it. And I would like to pick up several important issues where ADB institutes are doing research. Number 1 is infrastructure investment. In infrastructure investment, huge needs are existing in Asian region. However, private sectors are not willing to invest into infrastructure. I heard in India, so many PPP, private-public partnership, failed because rate of return on infrastructure investments were quite low. So private investors could not get enough rate of return, even though infrastructure is big benefits for the country. So public money is very much limited, and we need to bring private sector money into infrastructure. So we have focused on spillover tax revenues created by infrastructure investment. Suppose railway or roads are constructed. Then along the region of these roads and railways, private company can start their business. Agricultural farmers can sell their products. Services sector can open the restaurants. Then employment and also the production will go up. And property income, property tax will also go up. So in other words, good infrastructure can create big spillover effects along the region, and that will increase the rate of return on tax. So we have looked at the Philippines road, Southern Tagalog Arterial road. In this case, T-1, T0, this is under construction period. And this is the tax revenues. I have looked at 3 cities as an example, and look at Batangas city. Before the construction started, tax revenues was 490. And during the construction, because lots of workers comes to the region, so tax revenue, corporate tax, income tax increased 620 to 652. And after the completion of this highway, tax revenue diminished a little bit because construction boom went out. And private sectors are gradually coming into the region. However, they could not enjoy infrastructure completely. But after 4 years, the tax revenue went up almost twice. So in other words, spillover effects has been completely positive impact on this region after 4 years. And tax revenue of this region went up almost twice. So in other words, if the infrastructure is very good, then spillover tax revenue will keep on rising and every year. And infrastructure investment in the past, private sectors were only relied on user charges, highway tolls, train tickets. Then user charges are often regulated by the government because it is public goods. So the user charges are low, private investors only receive very small amount of money. However, spillover effect and spillover tax revenues have kept on rising into the region. So if part of these tax revenues were returned to infrastructure investors, then the rate of return would increase more, which can attract private investment. So in other words, increased tax revenues, which was created by spillover effects, should be returned to the private investors who invested in highway or railway. Next example is railway in Uzbekistan. And the paper is published in Journal of Asian Economics. Myself and Umit Abidhajijaev, he's from Uzbekistan. Then railway case is very interesting. When the railway has a big impact, connectivity is very important. Whether the railway line can be connected to the market or port, then that will enhance the impact to the region. So in railway case, connectivity became very important. Furthermore, not only constructing infrastructure, but also education will enhance spillover effects. And these are the data from 44 developing countries, and we took data from World Bank. Then it is interesting, infrastructure has a positive impact in the region, but at the same time, the education, secondary school, universities, those educations will increase significantly, statistically significantly, the output of the region. In other words, spillover effect will be enhanced. So many people often talk about infrastructure is important, but it is important to give the good education system along the region that will enhance the quality of workers and which will push up spillover effects. Then another important thing is how to provide money to those SMEs along those highways, railways. If SME cannot receive startup money, it is very difficult for them to create good products. And this is an example of Cambodia, a hometown investment trust funds, which were created in Japan about 20 years ago. The money is coming from individuals in the region. Small amount of money they put to people, and there are two ways to put money. One is purchasing the products from their producers, and then pay the money 6 months ahead, and then they can receive those products. This is example, agriculture, wine, and beans. And Japanese people, they started to advertise those products, and people order these products through internet. And then they purchase and receive these products. If this wine is very tasty, then next customers will come and demand will keep on rising. So the new innovation, they can advertise through internet, and then customers, they can connect with customers. And these are the Vietnamese 40 ladies who wanted to start their own business. And Cambodian lady wants to start her small shop along the road. And all this money comes from hometown investment trust funds. People put small amount of money to these ladies, and so that they can start their own business. This is another example of strawberry products. Agricultural farmers started strawberry, but they also produced the bags, chocolate, whose color is all red. And then they start to selling not only strawberries, but strawberry juice and strawberry chocolate and so on. Then people who are interested in these products order the products through internet. And these are oyster and salmon. This is the fisherman's new products. And next, one more important thing in infrastructure is we have to give incentive to operating companies, those who are working for highways and railways. In the past, these operating companies, the workers could not receive any bonus even if their profits are rising. So it is very important to share the profits not only to private investors but also to workers at operating companies, railway company or highway companies. Then that will give them the good incentive to make much more revenues. For example, if someone is working for railway, then they think if some station is located in between the two stations, then farmers can be benefited and residents in the region will be benefited. So they know by operating every day. And if the new station can be constructed, then employment and commercial activities will enhance more. So it is very important to workers at operating companies to give incentives for them. Lastly, I'd like to talk about few more important things for infrastructure and equality. One, I'm talking about infrastructure investment, but infrastructure investment requires long-term finance. To receive money from private sector, it is important to establish insurance products and pension funds. And many Asian countries are facing with aging population. Then the pension funds are very important. And also not only deposits, but also insurance will make the people's well-being much higher. Then tax compliance is very important. Even though economic growth is rapidly growing, but all those benefits has not only comes to rich people, but also to everybody. Then tax compliance and tax collections are very important, then distribute to them to everybody. And I'm talking about SME finance. Infrastructure alone cannot create jobs, so we have to provide money to SMEs for startup businesses, hometown investment trust funds. Then we also showed education is important. Secondary school, high school, university education will enhance their productions, and that will increase the spillover effects. And financing for startup businesses, it was by hometown investment trust funds. And good governance and transparency of policy making. So those are other important things for sustainable growth. So I hope all these my presentations, Asian economic growth will keep on going, and also our regions can be profitable and can achieve sustainable growth. Thank you very much.